Hello, my dearest friends. Svetlana Shlapak, the founder of UKVisaSuccess.com is here. This is part 2 of the video series, which is dedicated to explaining the global talent visa routes. As you know, this consists of 2 parts. The first one is the endorsement stage, which I've discussed in the previous video, and this particular part is all about visa applications. So I'll be discussing visa applications for those who either want to enter the UK or those who are already in the UK and they would like to apply for further leave to remain, and then we'll discuss the settlement applications. And in my next video, I'll be talking about the rules for dependent children and spouses. So let's begin.
Okay guys, but before I begin, I would like to let you know that I do understand that these rules may be new to some of you, and therefore some of you may find them confusing. And for this reason, for your ease of reference, I've created an ebook which has mind map summary of everything which we are discussing in the global talent visa route videos. So in the previous video we discussed these parts. As you know, when you are making your global talent visa application, you need to follow a certain process. The first stage is for you to apply for endorsements, and in the previous video we've discussed this part. This video is dedicated to the second part, to the visa application part. Here is how it looks like. When creating this video, I realized that it's probably a lot to take for you in one go, so I therefore decided to create 3 videos as opposed to 2. In this video we are going to talk about further leave to remain applications or permission to stay applications and indefinite leave to remain applications for those who would like to settle as a global talent visa applicants. And in the last video I'm going to talk about the rights of dependents to join their loved ones here in the UK. So their rights to join, to enter the UK and to remain in the UK and finally settle in the UK. So today we'll be looking at the validity requirements, at the suitability requirements for those who would like to remain here in the UK. So these are so-called further leave to remain applications, or now they call them permission to stay applications. I will talk about the eligibility requirements. Eligibility requirements are the key components of any application, and they will also always be different. As we'll see, the suitability requirements are almost always the same. This is about proving to the decision maker that you are a suitable person and you will not endanger the UK society if you remain here in the UK. Whereas eligibility requirements, they will always be different depending on the type of the application. And this part is about the settlement rules, about applying for indefinite leave to remain. So we'll discuss when they can make this application and which rules people will need to satisfy in order to settle in the UK. So let us begin with the validity requirements for further leave to remain applications. First of all, in order for the application to be valid and not to be rejected, you will need to complete a specified online form. And the type of form which you will need to complete will depend on your circumstances. So for example, if you are in an EU national and you have a cheap passport, you have several options here. First of all, you can make your application by completing this ID check app. If you're outside the UK and you would like to apply for global talent, you will need to complete the form. And guys, once again, we are talking about a stage here, so you need to complete this form which is called Global Talent Visa Stage 2 visa stage. If you're here in the UK and you're applying for permission to stay, you will need to complete the form which is called Global Talent Permission to Stay Stage 2. So these are for the UK applications. If you are outside the UK and you are not an EU national, you will need to complete this form, which is Global Talent Visa Stage 2. And if you are in the UK, as I already mentioned, this is going to be Global Talent Permission to Stay Stage 1. This is the specified form. Every single person will need to pay the immigration health surcharge, and I have a video where I explain everything about the immigration health surcharge and how these are calculated, and I also provide you with a link to the immigration health surcharge calculator where you can actually calculate how much you need to pay. And you will need to provide your biometrics. Nothing happens until you submit your biometrics. Biometrics simply means your fingerprints and a picture of yourself. And with every single application, you will need to provide your proof of identity, which is normally going to be your passport, together with supporting documents. The next piece of evidence which you will need to submit with the application for it to be recognized as valid is the endorsement letters. This endorsement letter should not be older than 3 months, and you also have to prove that the application has not been withdrawn. And if you received some kind of government scholarship or international scholarship in the last 12 months, which covers both the fees and living costs, you will need to get a written consent from this organization confirming that they are okay with you applying. And all applicants will need to be over the age of 18. And I would like to also discuss the switching rules here. These are very important rules. Switching is a legal process of changing your immigration status from one immigration category to another. So, for example, if you entered the UK as an innovator, following the innovator UK immigration routes, and then you decided, well, probably this route is not for you, and you decided to switch to global talent visa routes, then you need to actually check that you are allowed to do so. And these are called switching rules. So you will not be allowed to switch from a visitor immigration category, or if you came to the UK as a short-term student or as a parent of a child student, there is a separate immigration category for that, or as a seasonal worker or as a domestic worker in a private household, or if you made your previous application outside the immigration rules and you are here with a discretionary leave to remain. So in these circumstances, unfortunately, the Home Office will expect you to leave the country and reapply from outside the UK. So you will not be allowed to switch. So provided you satisfied all these elements of the validity requirements, this will be deemed as satisfied. The next requirement to meet for those who would like to either enter or remain in the UK, they will need to make sure that they do not fall for refusal on general grounds. And I created a separate video explaining the general grounds, but this is generally proving that you will not endanger the UK society when you enter or remain in the UK and you are of good character. So this is about criminal convictions, about deportation orders, exclusion orders, and about deaths to NHS, litigation costs to Home Office, and so on and so forth. So the majority of people will meet these requirements. However, if you have a criminal convictions, please make sure that you watch this video, because there I'll explain the rules about meeting the suitability requirements. And if you're already in the UK, there are certain rules which you need to follow. So you need to prove that you didn't stay in the UK in breach of UK immigration rules, unless paragraph 39E applies. Paragraph 39E, and once again, there is a separate video about this, but this is about Home Office closing their eyes on a certain period of overstaying, provided you can prove that this very short period of overstaying was beyond your control, and the application will not be allowed if you are here on immigration bail. So these suitability requirements, first of all, they are the same for the majority of the applications, and secondly, they are quite easy to meet if you are a law-abiding citizen. Now, let us talk about the eligibility requirements. As I mentioned, they are different for various types of applications. So first of all, let us talk about the entry clearance requirements. So we have mandatory entry clearance requirements, which some of you may find confusing. Here, the Home Office says that a person wishing to enter the UK under the global talent route must apply and obtain entry clearance before your arrival in the UK. And you may ask me what this means. Well, this simply means that, for example, when you're traveling from a non-visa national country, for example, if you're traveling from the United States of America and you are allowed under certain circumstances to travel without visa, the immigration officer will not actually allow you to enter the country if the purpose of your visit is to work under the global talent routes. They will say that you should have applied for entry clearance. Entry clearance means visa made from outside the UK. So this is mandatory, irrespective of whether or not you are from a visa national country or from non-visa national country. You still have to apply before traveling to the UK. And also you need to obtain a tuberculosis certificate if your country is on the Appendix T list. And guys, just once again, if you would like to have this list, you need to go to ukvisasuccess.com/global talents, and I'll provide you with this information. It's completely free and it will be with you within the next 60 seconds. Then you need to score 70 points for the eligibility requirements. So here, and they make a distinction between those who apply from outside the UK. So these are called the initial applications. And by the way, this can be an initial application even if you are already in the UK, and this can be an extension application. Extension application is only for those who are already in the UK. So all they want here is for you to have an endorsement letter which is no older than 3 months, and you need to provide evidence confirming that your endorsement has not been withdrawn. With regards to extension applications, the requirements are slightly different. In order for you to score 70 points, you need to first of all have confirmation that your endorsement has not been withdrawn, and secondly that you have earned some money while remaining in this immigration category. And the good news is that they do not actually specify how much you need to earn. All you have to prove is that this was a genuine income and it was not marginal. So in other words, your main purpose of remaining here was to pursue the global talent visa route. So this was a very brief explanation, and then they actually dedicate the rest of the eligibility requirements section to explaining the rules, which I'll do as well. So first of all, if someone makes an initial application, they will need to provide an endorsement issued by the endorsing body, and they have a list of the endorsing bodies, and this will be provided to you if you request it at ukvisasuccess.com/global talent. These endorsements must not have been withdrawn, and endorsing body must continue to be approved by the Home Office. As long as you meet these two requirements, and these are not mix and match requirements as they were skilled worker route, so you have to meet these two requirements in order to score 70 points. And with regards to the applications for permission to stay, you need to prove that your endorsement letter was issued by the Home Office approved endorsing body and it was not withdrawn, and the endorsing body is still approved by the Home Office, and you earned some money in the UK. And these are for applicants who had their global talent visas in the last 12 months, immediately before the date of the application. And if you meet the eligibility requirements, provided your application is valid and you meet the eligibility requirements, it is likely that the Home Office will reach a favorable decision on your application. However, if they don't, then unfortunately you will not have the right of appeal. All you will be allowed to do is to apply for an administrative review under Appendix AR. And you can get the link to this appendix if you go to ukvisasuccess.com/global talent. Now let us talk about periods and conditions of a grant for global talents. So first of all, the maximum amount you can get at one time is 5 years. What is very interesting here that there will be no limit on the total period of permission, so you can apply as many times as you want, but the maximum length of visa which you can get is 5 years, and then you can apply again and again and again, and you can apply for an unlimited period of time. And as with all the applications, the Home Office always imposes some conditions on your permission to stay here in the UK. I draw your attention here that it's really important to understand what these conditions are, because if you breach these conditions, unfortunately, in certain circumstances, this is even a criminal offense, and this will negatively affect or may negatively affect the outcome of your future application. So let me walk you through these conditions. First of all, as with the majority of applications, there will be no access to public funds, so you will not be allowed to claim any benefits, and you will be allowed to work, and you will be allowed to register self-employed. However, you are not allowed to work as a professional sports person or as a sports coach, and this is subject to the ATAS condition, which is explained in Appendix ATAS, and I'm providing the link to this one as well. And in certain circumstances, you will be requested to register with the police, but they do make it very clear when you are required to do so. If in doubt, you need to check Part 10 of immigration rules, and I have provided you with a link to this Part 10 as well. So guys, these were our eligibility requirements for the permission to remain for the entry clearance applications and for the further leave to remain applications or permission to stay applications. Now let us discuss the settlement rules for someone who wants to settle in the UK, provided they entered the UK as global talent visa applicants. As always, we have validity requirements. You'll need to complete the online form, which is Set O, Set Other, Settlement Other application form. You'll need to pay the fee. You'll need to provide your biometrics, your passport or other proof of ID. In the majority of cases, they only accept passports, and you must be in the UK in order to apply for indefinite leave to remain. You need to provide evidence confirming that the endorsing body is still registered with the Home Office and your endorsement has not been withdrawn and your last visa was a global talent visa. So if you meet these elements, then you meet the validity requirements. Now let us talk about the suitability requirements. As I said, they are all the same. You need to provide evidence confirming that you do not fall for refusal under Part 9 for general grounds for refusal and you are not in breach of immigration rules, provided paragraph 39E does not apply and you are not here on immigration bail. Now let us have a look at the eligibility requirements for the settlement application. So we have the endorsement requirements here, and all you need to prove here is that the application has not been withdrawn and that you have earned some money during your last permission to stay here under the global talent route. And then we have the qualifying period requirements. So you must have spent continuous 3 years in the UK. So you will be allowed to settle only after 3 years if your application was endorsed by the Royal Society, British Academy, Royal Academy of Engineering or UKRI. And also if your application was granted by Arts Council England or by Tech Nation in the exceptional talent criteria. If your application was granted as an exceptional promise by Arts Council England or Tech Nation, then you'll need to wait for 5 years before you will be allowed to settle. And also they allow you to mix and match your previous periods of stay. So if you remained here as an innovator or a skilled worker or the tier 2 minister of religion or tier 2 sports person, tier 1 migrant, other than a tier 1 graduate entrepreneur, you will be allowed to combine these periods of time. However, I draw your attention here that they will still want to see a proof that your last visa was granted in the global talent category. The next one is a continuous residence requirements. This is a very straightforward one. All they say that you need to meet the requirements of appendix continuous residence, and it's all about you not being out of the country for more than the permitted period of time. So if you're curious, you're very welcome to go to ukvisasuccess.com/global talent, and I have provided you with the link to the appendix continuous residence. And the next one is English language requirements. Well, this is about meeting the English language requirements at the level of at least B1. And in appendix English language, they specify the way you need to meet these particular requirements. You will be deemed to have met this requirement if you are from the majority of English speaking country, or if you have a degree here in the UK, or if you had your degree outside the UK but it was taught in English language or researched in English language. It may be recognized as well, provided you have a confirmation from NARIC UK. So I have provided you with the links to appendix English language and to NARIC UK organizations as well. You need to meet the Life in the UK test, and your application will be allowed if you meet all these requirements: the validity requirements, the suitability requirements, and the eligibility requirements. And if the application is refused, unfortunately still no right of appeal, and you will be entitled to only get the admissive review application. That is provided you cannot prove that Article 8 element, this is all about a right to respect to private and family life here in the UK, is involved here. So if there is an Article 8 element, then you may be eligible for appeal. If not, then you can only apply for admissive review. And this is it, my friends. This is all we wanted to discuss in this video. So this is the part 2, the visa application part for the global talent applicants. And in my next video, I'll talk about dependents. Have an amazing week, guys. I would like to invite you to visit this page, ukvisasuccess.com/more, where you'll find plenty of free immigration resources explaining various immigration rules. And I also invite you to subscribe to a new, very, very succinct and short newsletter where I'll be updating you on various changes in the world of UK immigration law. And also I will be sending various exclusive invitations to the members of ukvisasuccess.com community. You'll only be able to get these offers if you're subscribed to this newsletter. Have an amazing week, guys.